Canadian politics has finally decided to get exciting. Although the drama is putting me, and I'm assuming many of us, through way too much. It's a little bit uncertain, and I'm excited to talk about it. I mean, it is a lot of fun. Between Trump's threats of tariffs or the RCMP investigation into the Greenbelt scandal on Doug Ford, news is headlining the snap election in so many different ways. Tonight, joined with Wyatt Sharp, Anthony Fior, and Hasneet, we're discussing the snap election in February for the Ontario leadership. Guys, this just got confirmed today. Now, when people are seeing this is a week or two out. What do you think is going to happen? What are we going to see from this?
So, the Premier's obviously called an election, and it's his right to call an election. He's gone to the Lieutenant Governor General and asked for an election. She's granted it. And so we're going to see 27 days of campaigning, and we're going to see, he wants the election to be the premise of, I'm the best person to deal with Trump and tariffs for Ontario. Again, he's not the only person dealing with it, but he believes he's the best person, and he believes that is a better argument to make than all the other arguments that he'd be trapped in terms of healthcare or other items.
Right, and that's certainly the argument. I mean, Anthony, we were debating, and why we would have debates with each other on, hey, healthcare and housing and this, and the second Trump comes out and says we're placing a tariff, everything else gets dropped. I mean, it's crazy to me. Okay, so I've got a Ledger poll conducted as of January 19th, shows the Progressive Conservative Party leading with 46%, the Liberal Party leading at 22%, the NDP's just closely behind at 19%. I mean, is this why? Is this going to secure, the election for him for the next few years? Is that why he's doing this so fast?
Well, you're certainly seeing a lot of mixed reaction from people across the political spectrum. You have Bonnie Crombie from the Liberals, who is saying that this election is not needed in any way. Of course, you have the figure behind it. It's going to cost, I think it's around $160 million. Elections Ontario said that they themselves were just informed officially of the decision to call this election a few days ago, and that's why it's going to cost so much money. And so from Doug Ford's perspective, he says, at least publicly, that the reason he's doing this is to put the question of tariffs to the ballot box so that Ontarians can make a decision. He said that he is prepared to have to spend billions of dollars on the very issue in question of tariffs. And he feels it's integral to, again, put that question to Ontarians. But certainly from a political standpoint, it's quite obvious that in many cases people do this when they want to secure 4 more years in government. And so that's what Doug Ford is perhaps thinking behind the scenes. But I've been talking to some people over the course of today, and I mean, you cited that poll. It's not seeming as likely as it was perhaps a few weeks ago that Doug Ford would be able to secure his third kind of consecutive majority government. I think a minority government is certainly a lot more likely as to what people are expecting.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I was going to say, it just seems so timely that the Conservatives are leading in the polls. Oh, great time to put an election up. Anthony, what are your thoughts on this?
It's a power grab.
Is it?
Yep. Plain and simple.
So is this normal? I mean, is this a conservative problem, or is this anybody in his position would probably do this?
I'm sure anybody looking at the numbers would have done the same thing.
Are you recommending this in this particular moment?
As a strategist, I can't lie to you. If the situations were reversed and we were the Liberal government at the time, I would suggest the same thing.
Really?
I'm sorry.
David Peterson did it in 1990.
I knew you would pull out a random.
And then we got Bob Ray.
And inherently, that's the risk, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I think the Premier and his team are very smart people. They are aware of the risk. And I think they openly go into this. But again, look, they've got both the opposition parties caught pretty much off guard. They don't have enough candidates appointed. They don't even have money in their treasuries to fight this. And hence why you're seeing sort of the reaction from them. Again, the public is the overall decider. The voters will decide what happens. Right. And that's going to determine what issues get fought about. So that's why this is really interesting. What's going to happen?
I find it interesting. I mean, the RCMP investigation has been going on for how long, roughly? It's been about a year, just over a year.
About a year and a half now, I think. Yeah, it started showing up in the news.
So Bonnie Crombie is basically come out and saying, I mean, it's shielding him from accountability from something like that. Do you think there is a strategy on that front?
Yes, absolutely. Because if he gets caught with his pants down with that corruption scandal, he secured a majority government. He gets caught, he resigns, somebody takes his place, they fill out the 2 or 3 years that are left. I think what the public needs to understand is Doug Ford has a majority mandate. He goes until June of 2026. He has a super majority right now. He doesn't need another majority mandate, but he wants one. And just to play devil's advocate with our friend here who's a strategist as well, or would be a wannabe strategist, I'm sure he would have advised them to do the same thing. So there you go.
I mean, it does seem like it's pretty timely.
Look,
it just makes sense.
At the end of the day, like, I don't want to make the scandal sound like it's small. It's not. It's massive. It's 2 times the gas plant scandal. But like, what you do want to understand is that when the report comes out, they don't know when it's going to come out. They don't know what it's going to say.
Right.
And
Well,
like,
Hazza, we're going to leave it right there. We'll be right back real soon. Stay tuned.